Okay, so listen, this is supposed to be a super different video. So on this notebook, I have all my goals written down for not just like the year, but just for life in general. And I was supposed to, talk about them. And it's supposed to be like a relatable video. It was kind of just to show like, hey, I have ambition, I have goals. This is how I'm gonna do it. Make sure you subscribe. It's gonna be like one of those types of videos, but fuck it, we're just going a little bit off the script today. Let me preface by saying this is gonna be like just me talking, so just sit back and relax and just listen to me yap, I guess. I was in my bed earlier and I was just thinking like all these goals that I have, they're mostly just things that I want, right? I think I finally realized that I don't really give a shit about owning stuff anymore. Like one of my goals is like, let's see. One of the goals I wrote down was like having three cars. I wanted a Range Rover, a Supra, and a McLaren, right? And now that I think about it, I don't really want those things anymore. It's just like not appealing to me. I think when you have goals that are attainable, once you attain them, it's like, what's the next step, right? And I wrote those goals down with the fact that it's supposed to be aspirational, right? It's supposed to be a vision that it's supposed to be unrealistic. It's supposed to keep me from setting my sights too low. Okay. The thing is, the bar is already being set super low by me having goals that involve me acquiring material. Because material is easy to acquire, theoretically, right? You just have to get the money, right? And money you can achieve. There's so many ways you can make money, right? I could be like fucking a drug trafficker. I can be a gay porn star and make millions of dollars off of that. Am I even recording? Okay, I'm still recording, but yeah, the point I'm trying to make is that I realize that acquiring material goods and possessions isn't going to bring me lifelong satisfaction, right? I don't think that should be my goal in life. What it's supposed to be when I was writing down my goals, what was supposed to be very aspirational, very kind of like the stuff that's supposed to like shape the rest of my life to go into a direction, a desirable direction. What I wrote down on here it doesn't achieve that. It's very simple, and I don't like that. With that being said, that is why I wrote down new goals. Okay, so with that being said, goals that are not material, the things that I want to actually achieve, I think the best goals involve you changing as a person, right? Not let's rephrase. So let's take my example of getting like a McLaren, right? Yes, I could want a McLaren, yeah, but I think the better question maybe for me is what type of person do I have to be in order to get a McLaren? I think that's the more interesting question. And I think finding that answer is definitely going to be the most fulfilling out of simply the desire to want a McLaren. So keeping that in mind, that was just an example. Some goals that I wrote down that involve me changing as a person, and I think that will give me lifelong satisfaction. So mentally, let's see what did I write down here? I broke these goals into like subsections. So like mental, spiritual, physical goals. So mental goals I have for myself, I want to do a weekly mindfulness practice. I mean, I kind of have it going right now, but I think I just want to stay more consistent because I think mindfulness is just a great quality to have in a person, just like being able to kind of step back and take the world in for what it is instead of having all these emotions, having all these negative thoughts cloud your judgment. I think that's a really good quality to have. Let's see, prioritization of sleep is definitely like the biggest factor when it comes to deciding your health. You can see this in like Andrew Huberman, Brian Johnson, all those people in the scientific community. They tell you that sleep is like number one. So I definitely want to prioritize my sleep, especially as I get older and especially as I take on more responsibilities. I think it's going to be much more important for me to kind of keep a good schedule of like sleep habits. Get my 8 hours. I want to learn Mandarin, Cantonese, and Spanish just because I have English down. If I learn some form of Chinese and Spanish, that's going to cover like at least like probably like a large majority of the human population to which I can communicate in some way, shape, or form. So I think that would be pretty nice. Learning guitar and piano. So I'm currently learning guitar right now. I'm pretty bad at it, low key, but I mean it's whatever. You gotta get your hours in. Just gotta grind it out. Just keep practicing. I just want to be more consistent, and I feel like guitars like if you learn how to play the guitar, you can get a lot of hoes with that. So I mean that's kind of sick too. Piano is like another one too. It's like just like I think I started learning how to play the piano when I was like super younger, but I stopped because I was young and gay and stupid. I should have stuck with it, but it is what it is. For relationships, and like social goals, I wrote down community service. I think it's really important to serve your community. If you're just putting, all these self-improvement guys, all these like red pill masculinity guys, the main flaw with that and the reason why it's so hard, if you follow the red pill mindset, it's so hard to stay consistent. It's because you're only doing it for yourself. The thing that makes self-improvement worthwhile, the reason why it's for me, it's become easier to improve myself is not because just because of the fact that I grinded it out and I just like David Goggins my way through the gym, running, all that. I think it's just the fact that nowadays I have a community, I have friends, I have people that I depend on and they depend on me for support and I want to be stronger for them. I mean, take a look at like all these Mexicans, shout out to the Mexicans, or the Hispanic community, like, they are some of like the most hardworking people in today's culture, especially in like California. I've worked with Mexicans, I've lived with Mexicans, I've learned a lot from being in the presence of the Hispanic community. And one thing you notice is that even unlike a lot of these red pill masculinity guys, they have people to go to. They all have like they're really big on community. I've been to like a lot of like their parties, like quinceañeras, even just like regular ass like parties they throw every weekend. They're just a bunch of them get together and they just celebrate life and they drink, they party, they dance. And I feel like that's like what's missing in a lot of kind of quote unquote like masculinity spaces these days is the fact that it's not worth it when you don't have anyone to go to. Like you can work all you want, but the fact is if you're going home alone to a one bedroom apartment and you're just living by yourself, like what's the point of living then? Isn't the whole point to, be in the presence of other people, enjoying their presence, enjoying life together? Isn't that the whole point? Yeah, so just a little rant on that. I want to be a mentor for young people. I think today's young people just have it hard. From what I've seen, they don't have there it's so much trouble like deciding who you want to be, especially now with like today's culture, like social media. I think a lot of dudes just want to either rot in their beds all day watching TikTok, playing video games, smoking weed, watching porn, all that, or they like become some like extremist right wing fucking what else, right wing gym cell type of guy. So I don't think just the point I'm trying to make is I don't have a lot of guidance when it comes to actually becoming good people, good citizens, and I kind of want to be that voice for them. I want to be stay in touch with my old friends because I just want to. I think this is gonna be like my channel trailer, and so in the future when people watch this, I don't want them to say that I switched up because I don't intend to switch up. I think staying with people that you've known for a long time keeps you grounded. I mean, just look at Kanye, right? You see how Kanye kind of lost all the people that were along the ride with him, like Kim K, Kid Cudi, all these people, his mom, Donda. And so eventually that has led him to stray towards more of this like alt-right Nazi path. And I don't want to be like Kanye. So I want to keep the people that have been with me since day one. Ideally I want to keep them around for as long as possible. So there's that. My professional life, I think the most important thing I want is time freedom. I want to be able to just like fuck off Southeast Asia and just like eat a bunch of good food and just chill without having to have like any major repercussions to my work life. I just want to have like the freedom to travel around and just, do whatever I want and still make like the amount of money I need to survive, maybe like live a luxurious lifestyle depending on where my career takes me. But yeah, shit like that. Okay, so physically, I think this is the probably like the most detailed one I have. I wrote down hold up. So I want to have like a special forces slash Navy SEAL level physique and athleticism just because I think, World War III is gonna happen in like 2, 3 years. I have to be like prepared to like fight if I get drafted or some dumb shit goes on. I don't think it hurts to be prepared for that type of stuff. And I want to be able to sustain that well into my old age because I want to set an example for my kids as well. I don't want to be some like fat bitch that just like sits around drinking beer, like watching football all day. I didn't really have any role models when it came to fitness, so I kind of had to figure out that out by myself. The point I'm trying to make is I just want to be a good physical role model for my kids and something aspirational that will inspire my kids to not be lazy fucks. So I guess that's kind of the point I was trying to make. I want to sustain my physique, Another thing I wrote down was the ability to run like the Moab 240, Badwater 135, or a similar ultra marathon distance. I think it's just like ultra marathons are like definitely the ultimate test of like mental endurance. So I definitely want to have the mental endurance as well as like the physical endurance and the all the physical attributes necessary to run an ultra marathon. I think that could just be applicable in a lot of different situations. So yeah, definitely want to do one of those one day. As well as the ability to complete an Ironman. Again, this is going into like sustainability But like, yeah, I want to definitely like do a lot of races when I'm like 50 or 60, just to kind of maintain my physique and my athleticism. I want to be, yeah, that's pretty much it. I think it's important to be a jack of all trades. I think especially with all your physical attributes, you definitely don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. Like I see like a lot of people nowadays, they just lift or they just run or they just stick to one specialization. And I don't think that's making use of what your body is fully capable of. So I definitely want to incorporate a bunch of physical aspects, or let's see, I definitely want to incorporate all the physical aspects into my training, not just one. Oh, no, you're good. Is it time? Oh yeah. Can you give me like 5 minutes? All right, thank you. So spiritually, I have to wrap it up because this lady's waiting for me. But last but not least, like spiritually, I want to be able to participate in a faith-based community at least once a week. So like something like church or so like something along the lines of church. I think having a connection with faith or God is really important in maintaining like your physical or your mental and spiritual well-being. You know, maintaining, growing like a sense of mindfulness and so like self-awareness, all that good stuff. I have to leave, so yeah. So this is kind of just like me talking about my thoughts. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Like, subscribe, all that. I'll see you guys in the next one.